We welcome you back to CBS Mornings. Unfortunately, we have to skip Talk of the Table. We ran a little long with the senator today.
You having trouble with that shoe, Gayle?
Yeah, I know.
Here, let me help. I'll be your prince. There you go.
Still getting dressed. And so we have to skip Talk of the Table just for today because we do not want to skip Leslie Bibb.
That's right.
Because
Please don't skip Leslie Bibb.
Yes, we do not want to skip Leslie Bibb, who I said, and Nate agrees, wins for Best Dressed. We'll talk about it a little bit later.
Yeah, fire.
The high drama on season 3 of the smash hit show, The White Lotus. I hope you're watching. This time the action takes place in an extravagant resort in Thailand. I now want to go there. It's building toward the apparent death of at least one character. Our guest, Leslie Bibb, stars as Kate Bohr. She's on vacation with 2 longtime friends that she hasn't seen in years. Now, all 3 say they love each other, but the tensions have been rising between them. In one of Leslie's favorite clips from this season, we see their complicated dynamic in action.
You might say that to everybody. He said the same thing to me.
Did he? Well, he didn't say it to me. He said my numbers are average, so I'm just average, I guess.
I'm sure living in Austin, the food is probably fattier, butter.
No. There's
steak.
There's healthy food in Austin. I mean, I eat mostly chicken. For protein, I eat chicken. I eat turkey. I like beans. I used to hate beans, but now I eat a lot of beans. One day I just decided to trick my mind into liking beans, and now I do.
We're happy to say that Leslie Bibb is here live and in color. I just have to know, whose suit is that? Nate and I were both like, whose is that?
It's Tom Brown.
And Nate, it has a jacket and an overcoat.
Yes, it does. It does.
I am so smitten. But we're going to talk about you and your work, Leslie Bibb, because I know that they refer to you guys as the blonde blob, all 3 of you together.
Yes, Mike White would call us the blonde blob.
And word on the street is that you were worried that your plot lines would be a little boring compared to the others.
Well, the other ones are pretty dramatic, if you will.
But there's nothing boring about the 3 of these.
That's really good to hear. But when we were doing it, we were a little bit like, oh, is this going to feel, I don't know, not go as deep. And then Michelle and I were doing a scene one day, and we left, and I was walking away. We had this Aussie dolly gripped named Paul, and Paul came up and he was like, I can't do an Australian accent, but he was like, I love the girl's storyline. It's my favorite. And I remember, I was hearing a man say that he was connecting to that. I was like, oh, maybe we're going to be okay.
Because you say it's unusual to have the 3 of you women because you're...
Only one of us would ever get cast.
Only one of us,
You know, you don't have, 3 middle-aged women all, there would be one.
There's nothing about them that looks middle-aged or they behave middle-aged either, just saying, but go ahead.
But we are, and so, but it's just, we'd never be cast, and especially, 3 blonde women, but I think that's what, I feel like Mike is working with big themes this year. There's spirituality and death, but also doppelgangers and mirrors.
It's juicy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this show is unique because the writing's fantastic, the acting is incredible, but there is this relatability with every audience. You think on the surface, oh, these fancy rich people going to resorts, but once you start listening to them,
they got issues. The
Why
rich
is
people
that?
got issues.
Why do you think fans love this show in such a way that creates a connection?
Well, I think one thing, and I don't know how you guys feel, I think we become also, I think Mike's writing, first off, is I hate to use the word genius, but I do think Mike White is a frickin' genius.
Agree.
He just writes, and he doesn't shy away from confrontational,
hard topics.
No, shocking.
And sort of going there, and he's unapologetic about it, and he just sort of is able to sort of pick it up and look at it. But I also think there is something to only getting an episode once a week. I think we have become a society of swipe, look, 3 seconds, and I think there's something to watch it on Sunday.
And then unpack it.
And savor it.
And wait.
I agree.
Vlad just called it, he said the Monday scaries come in, and then he was like, but we get to talk about the White Lotus, and we get to unpack what it is. And I find it really charming.
True.
People stop me and they're like, here's my theory. I think this. And I was like, okay, let's go.
Are we allowed to talk about Sunday's episode? We must, because your partner was involved.
Yeah, my beloved Sammy was in it.
The most amazing scene I've seen in a long time.
But again, who writes a scene like that? A
So
monologue
crazy.
like that? Mike White, Mike White.
It was jaw-dropping. So did you 2 work together when you first got the role? Because I know you really wanted the part.
Sam got cast at the last minute. Because
no, but when you were getting it, didn't he work with you?
No, he...
Do reads with you?
No, in Savannah shooting a Clint Eastwood movie. I got the audition on a Monday, and they're like, you need to have this in by Friday. I was like, it's the White Lotus. I'm doing how do I multitask?
Right.
And I was shooting with Chris Messina, who's Sam's
Yes.
best friend, was in the movie. So Sammy was coming down to see me and Chris Messina, and Sam had also worked with Clint. So I said, I'm gonna put you to work. You have to be my reader in the scene. So he read the scene with me, and then Chris Messina taped the audition on his iPhone, and that's what I sent to him.
But
yeah, so I feel like I had the best audition tape just because I had Sammy and Chris.
Leslie, what did you think about Sam's scene on Sunday? Was your jaw on the floor?
I have not seen it.
It was so out there.
But I remember when I read all 8, and I remember when I got to this monologue and this scene, and I remember thinking, I'd never seen anything like this on television. And I felt like it was what Mike was really trying to talk about for the show. And like I feel like if the women had just come in and done what Frank did and been like, hey, this is what's happening in my life.
Yeah.
I'm having problems in my marriage. I'm drinking too much. I'm doing this. Whatever. They wouldn't be gossiping about each other because they would immediately like put the shield down. They would be vulnerable, and he comes in and he's like, "Here's my
Leslie,
truth," and he's unapologetic. So
I can't wait to see what happens.
Thank you so much for
Thanks,
coming
guys.
to have you here.
Thank you.
Fabulous, fabulous,
Thanks,
fabulous. The new episodes of The White Lotus Season 3 debut weekly on Sundays on HBO
And I'm
and
calling
Max.
Tom Brown.
That's